Committee of the Whole is called to order. I'm going to read the rules of engagement as we move along. Proposed amendment must be submitted in writing to the clerk via email 36glsession@gmail.com before the motion to amend is made on the floor. Amendments will be ruled out of order if it's not submitted and loaded to the session drive prior to proffering. My colleagues, we have a total of 14 amendments, but let me continue on first. Amendments will not be interchanged after the panel's gone. Bookmark. If a request is made to bookmark a part of the bill, the bookmark section will only be entertained up to the end of that chapter, and it is the responsibility of the requesting senator to ensure the bookmark is addressed. If the discussion or amendments to that chapter is completed, the bookmark is then retired with or without being addressed. I will continuously mention bookmark so that if any one of you think I allowed your bookmark to expire without being entertained, shame on you. Senators who wish to increase an appropriation to an agency or department must identify the funding source and provide an explanation on the impacts to both and receiving agency and or the defunded agency. So if you're going to increase anything, you need to identify where it's coming from, okay, and the impact. The only thing I have to mention, my colleagues, is that number one, we have a total of 14 amendments for Chapter 1. So as of this time, I'm going to close the opportunity for additional amendments because then we'll be here all week. We need to move on. 14 amendments is a lot. If you have an amendment you're going to submit, it'll be closed at... Didn't you submit that, Senator Sabina, already? I can't hear you. Can you...
Yeah, I'm sending one more. I don't know if they received it.
Press send so that they can receive it.
Okay.
So when I close, when we recess, if it's in the wire, I'm not going to stop the wire. But at least it's moving. So we can end and move on this. We're going to recess until tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Please take a look at all the amendments. Understand the amendments so that we can move on it.
But, Mr. Chair, yeah, I would just ask that if we are looking at these amendments and we need to change them overnight or something, if we are able to compromise on different things, that we should allow that opportunity since we are not going to continue today and we're allowing some opportunity for tomorrow. And of course, if some amendments fail, we might need to change it and try to change, to pass a different version of that. So I would just like to keep it open.
Well, we'll have room because when you introduce an amendment and you need to make an amendment to the amendment, that can work to make the changes, but not introducing a brand new amendment. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think that's too restrictive, Mr. Chair. We just have to allow that.
Mr. Chair,
That's too restrictive, Senator Tello.
yeah, if we have an amendment and that amendment fails, then we want to be able to proffer another amendment, that might be more conducive to the body instead of making an amendment to the amendment to the amendment, you know what I'm trying to say? Because sometimes there's just too much amendment, and that way it's just we can withdraw that amendment and allow another amendment to come on. I think it's...
I can work with that. Okay. But basically, as of when we recess, the amendment is closed. If tomorrow you introduce an amendment and after all the beating of that amendment, we need to amend or introduce a new amendment so that everybody's in agreement, I will not rule you out of order. I'll let it ride so we can move on. We need to complete Chapter 1. We still got several more pages. We have a total of 150. Let me see how many pages we got. 154 pages. We need to start page 1. Senator Brown.
This is not prohibiting us, Mr. Chair, when we get to the other sections from doing amendments. I mean, that's part of the deliberative process. Are we not able to do amendments in other sections of the
no. This is only for Chapter 1.
For Chapter 1. I just
This
want to
chapter
clarify that because
yeah.
as we go along, of course, I agree with the speaker.
This is only Chapter 1. We have several amendments ready in for the other chapters.
The debate may create other proposals that we can come out or we want to interject. I mean, I just don't want to prohibit the ability to deliberate the legislation before us publicly.
But we've already received amendments on the other chapters. If you have an amendment for the other chapters, please feel free to submit. We're only talking about Chapter 1.
Oh, I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
Once we complete Chapter 1, it will be able to move a little bit faster. I know that. So with that, We will recess and return at 9 o'clock. I see some asking for 10. 9 o'clock is best. By the time everybody gets here, it's 9:30 anyway. All right? Recess till tomorrow morning at 9.